Hi there. Hey, this is Kristi Villani from My Quilting Loft. How are you? I hope you're having a great day, and I really hope that you're enjoying the sew along that we're doing here as much as I am. It's so much fun to see all of the blocks that you're all doing, and so I really am excited that you're all sharing pictures of your blocks on My Quilting Loft in our group page on our community. And so for those of you who have not yet joined our Facebook community, as soon as you're done watching this tutorial, hop on over to our Facebook page, go to Facebook, My Quilting Loft, click the little button that says join here, and join our community, and you can share pictures of the blocks that you're making. And we'd love show and tell. And anytime you have questions or comments, that's a great place to put them as well. So ready to get started. So now a quick review. We're doing our spring 2001 sew along, and we are featuring this book here, this great book, the Quick and Easy Block Tool Book. This is a fantastic book, but you have to have it to do the sew along with us. So if you haven't got one yet, we have them available here in the store and on our website at myquiltingloft.com. So make sure it's not too late. You can join in the fun anytime. So anyway, our first block that we did was this one right there, the maple leaf block. That one we did 4 of them, 9 inches. Next one we did this one here, the Churn Dash Block, 4 of them, 9 inches. Then we did this one here. It's called the Old Windmill, and we did 4 of them, 12 inches. I know, 4. I still have my other one. It's almost done. And then the next one, the one that we're doing right now, is this one right here. It's called Arizona. Isn't that pretty? This is a really fun block. It's called Arizona, and I picked this one because one more week and I'll be in Arizona, taking a few days off to just rest and relax, and I am ready for it. Anyways, I just love this block, and I hope you do too. So one of the things that I want to point out is there's a lot going on in this block, but don't worry about it. We're going to break it down into the simple components, and you can totally do it. This one is on page 14 in the book, and it is block number 2. And so let's see what else. Oh yeah, you're going to make 4 of them. You're going to make them 12 inches. Also make sure that when you're making a 12-inch block, that right now it would be 12.5 inches. And the 9-inch ones like this, they should be 9.5 inches. They're called a 9-inch block because that's the size that the block is once it's all sewn together. Same thing with the 12-inch. They're 12 inches after they're all sewn together with the other blocks. But for right now, those should measure 12.5 or 9.5. I hope that makes things clear. Also, just want to remind you, you're going to need 5 yards of fabric at least for your blocks, and then another 3 yards for your background. So if you are using your background fabric in your blocks, make sure that you have enough extra, because the calculations that we did for the background fabric is assuming that you're not using it in your blocks. This block, as you can see here, quadrants, some units, individual units here to this block. And inside the units, there are little subunits. So this one here is a flying geese block, and this is another flying geese block, just with the opposite colors. And when you lay them out, you get this arrow shape. Over here, you have just a square and a little square, and then 2 half-square triangles. And then this one here is called a block and a block. And then sometimes you might need a little bit of extra help. And I tell you, this book right here, this is called the Quick and Easy Block Book Builder. The Quick and Easy Block Builder. This is kind of a companion book to the book that we're using, and there are lots of really great tips and tricks that you can follow in that will show you how to do all of the different components for the blocks that we're doing. So the first one that we're going to do is, as a review, we're going to just do a quick half-square triangle. So we have our 2 fabrics here that we have cut a little bit bigger than what it says to cut them in the book, because that way we can trim them down if our 1/4 inch is off a little bit. So I want to make sure that you remember to do that. Line those up. Now, if you don't have the Where is it? I have some right here. If you don't have the diagonal seam tape on your machine or something like this that you can use, then all you do is you just take a ruler and you just draw a line from corner to corner and then sew a 1/4 inch away from that line on either side. But as you can see, since I have the 1/4 inch seam tape here on my machine, I don't have to draw the line. I just line my points up and start sewing. And I just want to make sure I'm following this point right here is staying on that 1/4 inch seam line. Flip it around. See, you want to start with aiming that point right up where it should there. I think it's probably time for me to change my tape. That's why there's a roll of it, so that you can change it and don't put hand lotion on before putting your tape down. Note to self. Now we've sewn that, and we're gonna just cut that right down the middle, press them and trim them, and then we be set. And take your handy little ruler, line up the diagonal line right here on your seam, and trim that down. Just like that. There. So now that I've got those cut, I want to line them up according to the diagram in my book. And it'll go just like that. And then once I've sewn those, then I will have 4 units that look just like this. Then the next unit that we need to make is, we have these 4 now. Now we're going to make flying geese units. And so there are 4 of them that are with the purple and the yellow like that, and then they're reversed here. So method that we're going to use to make these flying geese, we're going to make 4 of them, and it is called the 4 at a time no waste method. So you're going to just lay the squares down just like that, and then if you don't have the seam tape, you're going to draw a line from corner to corner here and then sew a 1/4 inch on either side. Now, another little trick that I like to do is I like to take this Quilter Select glue type. Anyway, this is the little Quilter Select glue, and put a little dab in the corner. I just think it's just another fun tool rather than using pins. And I really like using it. Dab there. Dab there. And I can take this to the machine and sew a 1/4 inch from either side of that. And the first time I did this, I thought, how the heck am I going to get 4 of those flying geese from this? But you'll see. Now we've sewn a 1/4 inch down either side from the middle there. Trim that up. Set your seams. Press that up like so. And it kind of looks like a little fox face there. These go pretty quickly. kind of a cool trick. And then I'm going to take my glue, and I don't want to put it on my points here because of the little block. Because as you can see, that would be off the end. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue here, and a little dab here at the corner. Now just a little bit. You don't want you don't want to use a ton. You just want it to hold your little piece in place there while you take it to the machine. Careful not to get any on your cutting mat or your ironing mat, either one, whichever. There we go. And then you're just gonna, you can draw your line, not the glue stick, use with your pin, and you can draw that line from corner to corner, and then, but you get the idea, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna line this up. So now, since you're going to be making 4 of this block, what you're going to want to do is repeat this for, times 4 for each of the steps. But for the purpose of the video here, I'm just making 1 block. You seeing where suddenly I am now going to actually have 4 of that unit. Ta-da! 4 little flying geese now. So then we're just going to want to trim these down to the right size. These should measure 2.5 by 4.5. So you're going to want to make sure to trim off the tips, and then make sure that they measure exactly 2.5 by 4.5, and that your point is in the middle. I'll show you how we do that, how we make sure that the point is actually in the middle and not off to the left or off to the right. Okay, so using my ruler here, first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to make sure that I have at least a 1/4 inch from the point of that tip. I use this to point. From the point here of this tip right there to the edge, I want that to be a 1/4 inch. So I don't want to trim off too much. So use a spot on your ruler and make sure that you're cutting parallel to your the edge of your piece down here. Crooked. And then from on right here, there's a little 1/4 inch mark right here. There's 2.25 inches. There's a little mark right here that I'm going to line up with the point right there, making sure to keep my edge straight there. And as you can see now, I have a little bit here to trim off. Flip it over, do the same thing. The other side. Oh, here's that around. Wait. Here it is. Here's where I'm looking to make sure. Okay, I've got this line on my ruler here at the 4.5, and this line here at the 2.5. So now I can trim that, and now I have a perfect flying geese unit ready to go. Okay, so does that make sense? It's easy peasy, I promise you. It's just dive in and do it. If you have any questions, let me know. And then, so now I've got 4 of each. I have 4 of this colorway and 4 of this colorway of the flying geese. And then I'm just gonna sew them together like that so that I have 4 units just like that for each block. So go ahead and do 16 since you're gonna do 4 of the blocks. But just gonna sew these up and talk to you in a minute. Oh, I want to make sure that you know there's a couple things. Don't sew off your points. Be careful that you don't do that. Okay, so to make sure that you don't lose your point right here, make sure that when you are sewing, you line these up like that, but you're going to want to have this side up so that you can see, because when you get to this little point right here where these seams cross, if you sew this side of it, if you sew that side of it at all, you're going to lose your point because your point is right here. So you don't sew over that. So you want to sew right where those come together, or maybe excuse me, maybe a little bit this side of it. Okay, so now we're going to want to press these this way so that, because I have seams here and this side doesn't have all those seams, so it will have less bulk if I press them that way. Okay, so now we have, for each block, we have 4 of this unit, 4 of this unit, and now we're almost done. Our last one is this guy right here. It's going to be our, here, this one right here is our square in a square unit, and then we'll sew them all together and then we'll have it. See, it's not so complicated. Sure is pretty. So make sure that you cut your blocks to the size that it says in the book, and then you're going to line up. You have 2 of these that will be your outside of the square and square. Just give those a quick cut, those from corner to corner. Okay, and then you're going to want to take this one and you're going to fold it in half so that, and make just a little finger press so you can see the middle. And you're going to want to do that both directions. Now you can use a friction pen if you want, because that will vanish. But I think I can see where I pressed that just fine. And then what I'm going to want to do is line up this point right here on this line, and then make sure that these seams line up just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to peekaboo that one so I can make sure I'm lined up on the little mark that I made there. I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on either side, and easy peasy. Now, if you want to use pins or you want to use glue for that, that's fine, but I was able to just fold it in place. And I'm pretty sure you could too, but whatever you're comfortable with. Press it back. And I was just thinking, did I lose my mark? But I didn't. It's still there. And then I'm just gonna trim off those little bits right there. Make sure you do that. No cheating. See what I'm talking about here? These little corners there, make sure you trim those off. You don't want to leave any unnecessary bulk in your block. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Take it to the machine, so another 1/4 inch seam down either side. And then our units will be all put together. Okay, so now we're gonna set the seam, press it away like that. And then we're gonna trim this unit down to 4.5 inches square. But you want to make sure that you keep your keep this in the middle. So you don't want to just pick 4.5 inches off to the side like this. You want to half of 4.5 is 2 1/4. So find the little 2 1/4 mark on your ruler here, right there. Line that up with the point right here, and that will be where you trim to, right there, like that. There, now we have all the units made to for this block, and then we'll just got to put them together. You'll have 4 of the corner pieces, 4 of these little I don't know what you call it. It's two flying geese there, kind of making an arrow there, and then your square and a square for the middle. So you can do this, right? You feel good about it? So okay, so make sure that you have things going the right way, because I want my wings there, going in the right direction. So you're going to want to get everything lined up in the direction that they're going to go, and then you'll be ready to sew them all together. Just like that. And then we're going to sew these 2 together like that, and then add this one in. Sew these rows together, and then we will have, want to make sure that you know this. Okay, this is a trick that you need to do so that you don't lose your points here. And I'm sewing these guys together. I'm going to put a pin through right here through the point. See that? Okay, got a pin coming out right there, and it's going to go in right here. So these guys will be lined up perfectly because I want my points pointing at each other. So that is in place there, and then I'll put a pin on either side of that to hold it in place. And I'll do that every time that I'm sewing to this unit. See that? Okay, that is going to hold these points together right in the right spot. Get everything lined up just right. And go nice and slow because you still don't want to lose your point. So you want to do, see, I'm going to aim in just a little bit so I don't chop off my point. The seam, give it a press. Set the seam. Now, if you like to press seams open, this would probably be a good block to do that at, because there are a lot of places where you have bulk, and when you press your seams open, it does help to reduce that. I'm just not in the habit of doing that, and I probably should be. What? Press this towards the middle so that it's the opposite of the other block. Is that? And I want to have my seams interlocking. And go slow so you don't lose that point. Okay, having to use my seam ripper kind of reminds me of the little sign that I have above my head. This is a little quilt that my friend Stacy, who is Crafty Stacy, she's a craft blogger. She has this, it's a little panel inside and then a block, and it's this pattern here. Almost dropped it. Can you see that okay? It says, "In my sewing room, thou shalt not." And there's some really cute ones. It says, "Thou shalt not ask when it will be finished." There's a few other things. "Speak to me when I have the seam ripper in hand." That's appropriate right about now. That's all right. Yeah. "Cut anything with my fabric scissors." Yeah, don't do that. There's another one on here that I really like. Let's see. "Oh, thou shalt not tell me I have too much fabric." Right? Right? You know, we don't want nobody telling us we have too much fabric. That would be not nice. Look at that. One less press. This one will be done. Okay, here's our block. The Arizona block is block number 2 in our quick and easy block tool book. And don't get overwhelmed by it. You can do it. Just break it down into the different, break each unit down into its simple components. You've got some half square triangles, some flying geese, and a square and a square. You can do it. And if you need extra help, you can always pick up one of this quick and easy block builder books that we have here in the shop and on our website, myquiltingloft.com. There will be a link in the description below. And also, if you don't have one yet, this quick and easy block tool book is what we're using to do our sew along. And so you're going to have one of these. Remember, right now we're doing block number 2. It's called Arizona. It is on page 14, and make 4 of them, the 12-inch size. And if you like the our little block here that with all the fun sewing room rules, we also have a description for that in the description below. And I know you're going to love it. This thing is really fun. And so anyways, you have a great day, and be sure and tune in Saturday mornings for our Facebook Live sale. We will be back in time from our vacation. We will be back in time for our live sale because I wouldn't miss it. And I hope you enjoyed. If you would like this, please make sure and subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the little bell so you'll be notified when I post a new tutorial. All right, that's it. We made it. Yay. Have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you share with your friends and let them know that there is a sew along going on that you would like to have them join you with. So thanks again. Bye now.